Happy Friday, everybody. My name is Presley. I'm with Perry Holmes, and I'm here with a really good friend of mine. How do you pronounce your name? For all of your Facebook friends, how do you pronounce your name?
Yeah, it's one of those names. It's Gaelle.
Gaelle.
Yeah, a guy that yells.
A guy that you...
Yes. That's one way to remember it.
And you're not from Houston. If it's not obvious, but we have a lot of...
Transplants.
Yeah, transplants in Houston.
I'm not from here. Well, I'm not from Houston or Texas or the United States, actually.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I was actually born on the island of Haiti.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to say when, because we don't
10
do
years
that.
ago?
Yeah, let's go with that, 10 years ago. And in 1989, my parents sent for me. And
In Houston, in the States?
Yeah.
So they were in the States and they sent for
yeah,
you?
my mom had already been in the States, I would say, for about 3 years. And my dad had been here since 1983.
Okay.
So they kind of came over and, planted some seeds and got some things ready. And when the time came in March of 1989, they sent for me, and
Wow.
I began my journey into becoming a Haitian American, if you will.
Yeah.
By that time, yeah. So that was 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have no idea of, I don't even have a preconceived thought. Tell me about Haiti. What's it like if I want to visit?
I think I'll tell you what I remember. Again, it's been 30 years for me, and I know what's in the media and what comes across, and there's that too. But for me personally, Presley, I had a great childhood. I don't remember us necessarily being wealthy by American standards, but we had everything we needed. Holidays were really special, not really in the sense of having Christmas trees and lots of gifts, but we had parties and events and family gathered and did all that good stuff. And of course, we're sort of a very proud nation. For those of you that know our history, you'll know why. Won't be going into too much detail, but we have that we were just taught. It was sort of in school, from the very moment you got to school and you could talk, Haitian history was taught.
Wow.
So we
kind
had
of like Texas.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So we had a great sense of who we were, and that instilled a lot of pride in us.
Okay.
And maybe the curriculum was written that way because we knew how the outside world saw us. And so maybe the people that were in charge of that, they made sure that they drilled into us that it was
great.
that you're great.
Yeah.
And that you are to pursue, and I still have that same drive today. And the standards were really high for us. Regardless of our struggles, I had a great life there. And then my parents, they thought, and I think they did a good thing, that it would be best to have me come to the United States and continue on with my education and to just have different opportunities available to me. It isn't that we don't have those there, it's just sometimes in certain countries, it's not always what you know, although there's that favoritism, nepotism here too, if you will. A lot of it is who you know, right? And I don't think we had the connections there that would allow me to maybe pursue certain things, and they thought the opportunities were, greater here. So I think that was a good decision. But
That's
I still,
amazing.
yeah, it's been wonderful. It's been a wonderful 30-year journey, and it hasn't been easy because when you're a child, you're having to sort of figure out where you belong, because on the one hand you have to assimilate to American culture and the American way of life, because this is where you are now. You're essentially an invited guest, and out of respect you learn the culture and the customs and the language. But when you go home, you're still Haitian, and your breakfast looks different. Your Thanksgiving looks different. I remember the first year we did a whole turkey. I had to talk my mom into that, because we cut our turkey, we season it really well, we fry it, and we put it in a gravy,
Ooh, that sounds
and we
good.
serve it with rice and beans, and And so now my table kind of looks like it's merged into this combination of, you know, the rice and the beans and the turkey, but I have stuffing and mashed potatoes and green beans
so your house
too.
is a melting pot.
It is. It really is. And my children are, you know, I guess you could say multi-ethnic. And so I sort of present them both options or both sides because I want them to, you know where we're from, but they do live here and this is their country and they were born here, and I don't want to ever have them choose. You know, they're American citizens as well. Right. So, you know, it's a balance that I'm able to give them. Whereas when I was growing up, there was no one there to say, okay, when you go to school, do this. When you come home, this is what we do. And so there was some bullying at times, you know, from kids that were not from where I was from. I looked a little different. Right. My mom insisted on still doing the ribbons, which is what we did on the island. It's like, Mom, we don't do that here. Right. She didn't care. She's like, this is what we do, you know? And so I stuck out a little bit, but eventually I found my balance. It took maybe over a decade. I was an adult when I was able to say, you know what? I am someone who lives in America and I love what this country has given me and I love being here, but I was born in Haiti and that's also, that nation has given me my foundation. Right. So
it's still a piece of who you are.
That's right. And I don't feel you have to choose, you know, so I am one who considers myself both Haitian and American.
Wow. So what was your experience growing up in New York?
You know, Brooklyn, New York is one of the meccas of Haitian culture, I would say. Of course, there's the Boston area and the Miami area as well, but I grew up with a lot of kids who were from Haiti or from other parts of the Caribbean. I also, when I went on to high school and college, met other kids from all over the world. So that sort of broadened my experiences, and I got to know different people from different continents and different countries. And so it was then I knew I was a citizen of the world because I have the ability to really sort of appreciate where someone else is coming from. Right. You don't have to be like me, look like me, or be where I'm from for me to forge a friendship with you. Right. And so I'm pleased that I have friends from all over, different faiths, different races, different religions, and I love that. And so with my daughter, who's going to be 16 this Thursday, it's seamless now. When I look at her friends, it's not even intentional. It's just what it is because that's all she's ever known. Is just
very accepting.
Yes, of others. You know what I mean? Still knowing who you are. Yeah. But it's okay to, you know, blend in with others and just, you know, forge different friendships.
That is so beautiful. How do you think your upbringing and your travels has shaped you to be who you are now?
Well, I think, you know, I'm an educator as well. And so having been an educator for 16 years, most of my career outside of New York City has been in the Latino community. And so when I began working in that community in 2006, didn't know much about it. Before then, I taught in New York, and then I taught at a private school here in Houston. But that community, I found that I had a lot more in common with them than I thought. A lot of our values were the same, you know, immigrants' values, if you will. Like, you push your kids, you like, go to school, you know, learn this and do this, because you're going to be the one to raise our family's name up, right? So I found that that was sort of the same, you know, the same value system. And I think if I had not been where I was from and not had the experiences I had in New York, I don't know how I would have done in that environment. I built a lot of great relationships with my students. In fact, some of them now, since I'm no longer in that area and teaching there, they're my Facebook friends, and we stay in touch. That's the only rule. You can't, Miss Thomas can't be your Facebook friend while she's still teaching you. You can't, that's just,
you gotta wait.
You gotta wait until you graduate or something. But I love my students and I miss them very much. And I think, I learned a lot being in that community, and I felt embraced. And I'm just glad that I was able to bring that to them, and it was an experience of a lifetime. And of course, now being in real estate, I talk to everybody. There's not a person that I'm not going to talk to. We're in the grocery store. I don't care if you're wearing just jeans and a t-shirt or a cowboy hat and boots. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to say hello to you, we're going to strike up a conversation unless you run away from me. Okay. And then at some point, we're going to talk about real estate, how the market is doing, what you're doing, where you living, and then you're going to get some cards and we're going to stay in touch. There's just not
that lesson was free.
Yeah, there's just not a person, because everybody needs shelter.
Yeah.
That's one of your basic 3 or 4 basic needs, right?
Right.
At some point, whether it's an apartment, a home, lease, whatever, you're going to need to live somewhere. We don't advertise people not having shelter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So keep me in mind.
So what is your brand?
Well,
because you speak about that, it's like
my little brand is the Texas Belle Realtor.
okay.
And I'll explain that. Even when I lived in New York and I used to watch these old movies, Gone with the Wind and all that, I always felt like I was a Southern belle living in the North. But I don't meet those standards, right? I'm not from the South. I'm not even from the United States, for Christ's sake. And then, of course, after I learned New York culture, I had to come down here and learn.
The United States of Texas.
Yes, that's a different country in and of itself. I had to learn the twangs and the different idioms and expressions. And for me, what I love about Houston, or even Texas to some degree, is that you have a little bit of everybody here. If you want to wear Western wear, do that. If you want to go down to the theater district and be the people with the pinky up, do that. Right. There's a little something for everybody. And so for me, I do love the fashion and the, I prepared for 5 hours for this. That's just who I am. And so I'm not a Southern belle, but I think I'm a Texas belle. And that's all encompassing, all embracing of just a wonderful lifestyle. A lot of, it's starting to happen. People do not understand how good of a lifestyle we have here in Texas. And it's hard to know if you've never lived anywhere else.
Right.
But there are a lot of options out here, a lot of possibilities, and you're free to be who you want to be. We're not all riding on horses. We drive wonderful cars and we live in beautiful property. And so I think Texas Belle embodies everything that I stand for.
Wow. I would agree with that.
Thank you.
You have a very nice. I feel like if I ever come to your house, you'll ask me if I want some tea or lemonade.
Absolutely. And then some rice and beans.
Some rice and beans.
That's right. That's right. So it's that combination of, and that's not Northern, that's not Southern, that's Texas hospitality. Yeah. And I think I'm about that. It's part of my brand. I keep a nice home. I cook, and I'm that girl.
So how long have you been doing real estate?
Well, last year, I had a special birthday. And
21.
Right. It's one of those ending with a 0. We'll go with 30 on this one. And, I just thought, I need to do this. I had gone to real estate school back in 2001 in Pennsylvania, but I never pursued the license. This voice in my head told me that it's going to be too hard. I was living in the Pocono Mountains at the time. Pocono Mountains, snow and all. And so I never sat for the license. I paid for the course. It took several weekends of my life. I did it, but I never pursued the license. So that's 2001. And so last year, in December 2018, when I had that special birthday, I lost my mind. I didn't get a motorcycle, but I resigned from the job that I had. I went and got my license. I did it in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, I knocked out all 6 classes in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And took the test. I met some wonderful friends throughout the process. We encouraged each other. We studied. We attended the review sessions together, and I did it. I went for it.
That's really quick. What's the average?
Some people, they take a class here, a class there, months in between. Sometimes they have to retake classes because they waited too long in between. Right. I just knocked it out. Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 4:30 for 3 weeks. Wow. I was just that kind of tunnel vision and determination.
It was full-time school.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not working right now. Let me figure this out. Let me see if this is for me. And then I had until the 13th of July to resign and not get in trouble with my license as a teacher. So, yeah.
You had some motivation.
Yes, I I was really motivated to get it done so that I could go ahead and say to that particular district, thank you so much for one more opportunity. I'm ready to do something else with my life. And I haven't looked back. It's been quite a ride. I get to meet wonderful people such as yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful homes. I've always loved homes. I'm an HGTV junkie. Food Network, all that good stuff. Anything that's about that lifestyle is, I love that. It's associated with me. And so, you know, after that one birthday, it was no more settling, you know. I want a life that has to do, where real estate is a great big part of that, where, you know, design and decor and cooking and food and people. That's what I love.
One life, why waste it?
Yeah, exactly. So I finally get to do what I love, and I've never been happier in my professional life. And my kids have been, you know, my family, they've been very supportive as well.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
That's great.
Thank you.
So do you have, well, let me ask it this way. What would you want to tell your audience?
Well, I would tell my audience about my business or about me or...
About you and your business.
Well, you know, I think that I'm a very trustworthy person. If you've met me, and quite a few of you have, I'd like to think that I radiate some warmth. Some people like my voice. I've been told I have one of those voices, somewhat soothing, if you will. But I pick up my phone when you call. When you text, I text back. And I'll fight for you to have the home that you need to have, you know, without failing to do what I'm supposed to do for you as your realtor. Because it becomes a family transaction. You know, you would want your family to be taken care of. So many people have had bad real estate experiences. So for me, it's personal. I want to make sure that, you know, everything's set up right. You have your insurance in place, and you have the home of your dream, or if it's your forever home or temporary home or investment home, what have you. I make sure that everything gets done and you feel comfortable with the process. So call me, text me. I'm your girl.
Both.
Yes, Texas Belle Realtor.
Now, what would you tell other realtors?
No, I'm kidding. No, I love to collaborate with, you know, my colleagues, and I think you have in me a trusted family member in our industry. I do us proud, and of course, when I first meet someone, the first question, other than greeting them, is, are you currently working with an agent? So I play fair. You know, I don't...
oh, the stories I hear.
Yeah, I don't badmouth my colleagues. It doesn't matter what I'm being told. It's always very neutral. Well, let's see what could happen with that. Let's call them and find out. Yeah. I'm very good about just being courteous where my colleagues are concerned. I love referrals. I love collaborating with other agents, and I've done quite a few of those, and I look forward to doing more.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Again, my name is Presley with Perry Homes, and I'm with my awesome friend Gaelle.
Gaelle Realty, yeah.
I deserve a sticker.
Yes, you do. You did a great job. High five.
High five.
I give stickers out.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We always love comments and criticisms. I always like to see what I could do better. If you have any comments for her as well, you feel free to leave them, and we will get to the inventory that I have for this week.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Awesome.